What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Double A have here. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So this video right here is I'm going to use this video or this backdrop of this interview, well, not even an interview, this conversation that Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy had pertaining to the killing of Kamaya Moore. Kamaya Moore. I don't even know why I said Kamaya Moore. The young girl, the 16-year-old girl who was shot and killed in Columbus, Ohio. I believe her name is Kamaya, and I don't know why I said Moore for some reason. I am in some pain, so maybe that's why. I hurt my neck, and I've been in a lot of pain for like the past 2 days. So, yeah, bear with me. But I wanted to make this video before, it loses its relevancy, because obviously this is something that just took place. But so again, I'm using this backdrop because what I'm going to use it for is to illustrate the difference between reality and ideology. Like Charlemagne is going to take the side of idealistic thinking, and then Envy is going to obviously be on the side of realistic, practical thinking, and logic. And I'm using this video, and I'm making this video because I see a lot of times, unfortunately, in our community, this is the dividing line. And obviously, there's many different divided fronts that we have as a people, but this is one of the big ones. These two brothers are gonna, have two different sides, based off of one is coming from an idealistic standpoint, and the other one is coming from a practical standpoint. Obviously, as a people, we need to stay away from idealistic thinking, because not many things on this planet, or in the world as we know it, function in an idealistic way. There's a lot of things that we wish would happen ideally. In an ideal world, people would turn themselves in for committing crimes. Ideally, in an ideal world, there wouldn't be any murder. In an ideal world, there wouldn't be hit and runs, because people wouldn't run, because ideally they'd be good, upstanding people. So yeah, there's a lot of things that ideally we would like to take place, but realistically and practically, we know damn well it's not going to happen. So, in my opinion, the more idealistic you are, the more naive you are. And again, for our people, it's definitely a hindrance, because we already are pretty much naive to many things out there that we need to become hip to. We need to become game to, because it seems like everyone else understands that besides us. So we need to start being real, with ourselves, and then we can really start to make some change. So I'm gonna start to play this video, and I'm gonna come in and come out. But remember, envy. There's two sides to this, and then the good part is they're actually gonna make arguments for each side. So that that's when I'll pretty much chime in.
It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, Charlemagne walked in this morning. I seen that he was a little upset. Now
I was not upset.
Why.
I walked in happy as hell. I walked
Taco
in
Bell.
because I was singing Yvette Michelle. I was singing Chris Brown Back to Sleep, and I don't eat no damn Taco Bell. So don't lie on me.
Taco Bell has meatless options now, and the fact that Charlemagne can't get his meat from Taco Bell made him very upset this morning. Taco Bell is right now trying Beyond Meat tacos and plant-based tacos.
That's amazing. Drop on the clues bombs for Taco Bell for having plant-based food. I used to work at Taco Bell. I worked at Taco Bell for 2 weeks when my sister was a manager there.
All right. Okay, that's enough of that, man.
You have to make the tacos. I be making
Okay.
Goodness. All right, now, Chauvin, like Charlemagne said, you know him from the George Floyd trial. Well, I shouldn't say the George Floyd trial.
You know him from murdering George Floyd.
He was found guilty. He is, like you said, on suicide watch. So they have him on suicide watch to make sure he does not kill himself and has to serve out his full sentence.
Well, actually, yeah, I said I hope he doesn't kill himself, because, I want him to, get sentenced and have to deal with the consequences of his actions. But, I do think there's an over-under on him killing himself. So I'm glad he's on suicide watch so he doesn't do that. Because he looks like the type. His wife left him right after the situation happened. What do you got to live for?
Right. Now, Micaiah is the young girl who was getting into an altercation at her house. She called the police and said some girls or women were trying to jump her. The police...
All right, so, yeah. Because I wasn't too sure, but that's what all the reports are saying, that she did, in fact, place the call to the cops. Which, obviously, in my opinion, makes me double down on what I say. If you're gonna, throw down, because that's what, you're gonna do, then you throw down. You don't throw down and call the cops. So the fact that in the video, she's like the main aggressor. Am I saying that those girls weren't being the main aggressors prior to the body cam footage? No, obviously, I don't know that. We don't know that. But what we do know is when the cops came, that's when she became the main aggressor. And that is something that obviously is the opposite of what you would expect one who just called the cops to do. Unless she thought she was calling the cops for backup and they were going to come and help her start whooping ass, then I don't know what the fuck she was thinking.
Pulled up and she had a knife and was, I guess, on the way to maybe cut or hurt another person. The cop hopped out and shot her. Now they're saying the cop who shot Micaiah was military-trained marksman. So he was a marksman, a military-trained marksman.
So he definitely could have shot her in the leg or something. But that's not the...
All right, so this is another issue that a lot of our people are saying, and a lot of people in general. But again, like, I don't give a fuck about what the majority of people are saying. I'm talking to our people, quote unquote, black men and women, the so-called Negroes of today. The black people of North America, not the Africans that obviously that come over here. I'm talking about us, okay? FBAs, AOPs, whatever you want to call them. That's what I'm talking about. So no. First of all, marksman is like, a rifle. Like that. That's what that term is, mainly used for. If you're a marksman, that means that you can shoot something, hundreds of meters away with a freaking with a rifle. That's what that's pertaining to. One, two. Police officers aren't trained to shoot for legs. They're trained to shoot center mass. Why is that? Because say he goes to shoot for, say a cop, say someone's running, right, or whatever, and the cop decides to shoot him in the leg. That bullet could pierce through the leg, bounce off, ricochet off something else, and kill someone else. Okay? So, you try to shoot somebody in the hand, same thing can happen. Or on top of that, you can miss. Those are small targets. And again, most police officers aren't quote unquote marksmen with rifles. And second, even if they had a great eye with a pistol, that wouldn't be the case for all of them. When you think about all the police officers that we have, that is not the case. So like, the risk outweighed the reward in that situation. You're going to shoot center mass. Okay. Now, if you know this information, I would believe that you would understand to not put yourself in a position to be shot center mass. Or even if you don't know, don't put yourself in a position to be shot at by the police. Or shot at by anybody. I think if you're putting yourself in positions to get shot at, I think you're making a lot of poor decisions in life.
Police officers are trained.
That's not the way that they're trained. They are trained to shoot to kill, not to injure, and they're trained to shoot at the biggest, part of your body that they can aim at, which is usually the chest area. So, it's the biggest target. So
but being that he was a marksman, he'd be trained a little different, though, right?
But usually when they say marksman, it's usually long guns. It's usually rifles. It's usually things like that, not necessarily your handguns. Well, the neighbor came out, and the neighbor's name is Donovan Brinson, and this is what he said about the shooting.
It shows. He literally got out of his vehicle and had seconds to respond. So the video doesn't lie. I mean, there was an altercation. He responded. He reacted with what he thought was his best judgment. Whether that means he tried and go for the leg, which I don't think he had time to take aim and go for a leg, to be honest. So he did what he thought was best.
Right. Now, the mom also spoke out, and this is what the mom said.
I've always had sympathy for the Breonna Taylor story and her family, and Now I know what it feels like to lose a child. I want the killing in the world to stop. And that's what Micaiah would want. Micaiah was peaceful. She was loving. She wanted everybody to get along. She was a Christian.
I
also hate when people throw that around the Christian. Like, half these quote unquote Christians, they're not Christians. So let's just stop that. All right. And, you know, I believe the mother was there when it happened. So, you know, you couldn't restrain your daughter. You couldn't be the one to call the cops. Or if you knew she called the cops, you couldn't say, hey, like, just wait inside until the cops come. You know, like, what could you have done differently? And I know that there's some people out there, you know, because I get this on my videos, that's going to try to accuse me of victim blaming and whatever. But listen, I don't subscribe to that bullshit. It's real simple. You know, you will be held accountable for your actions, one way or another. So you know when people want to come out and say, oh, that's victim blaming, what you're trying to do is, you know, strip away accountability, and our people aren't going to get anywhere without accountability. You know, that's part of another part of our problems, the lack of accountability and the lack of wanting to hold each other accountable. You know, it's like, say you got a job. You know, you got one of your friends a job at where you work, and you know, your friend is like, you know, a shitty fucking worker. The nigga come work late, uniform, you know, very unkept, you know, all that stuff, right? But you don't hold him accountable because that's your boy. Now, are good things going to come from that, or potentially bad things going to come from that? You know, what's more likely? Bad things are going to come from that. But now, because you fail to hold your boy accountable, it makes it harder for you to hold other employees accountable, because they all see that you don't hold him accountable. So now they all come to work late, and then they all, you know, had their uniforms looking crazy, if they even choose to wear that day or not. So then what happens is the business starts to go down, because the customers see this, and it's a bad look, and it's a bad setting, and they don't want to be part of that. They'd rather go to the competition. So what's going to happen? You're not going to have a business much longer, and that's a metaphor for the quote unquote black community. You know, that's what comes from something as simple as not holding yourself accountable, and then others by extension. It's that simple.
I stand on the fact that I think it was excessive, and I do not think that young girl should be dead today, even if this is
excessive. So, and see, this is that idealistic mindset that he has. You know, excessive. Ideally, the cop would have been able to shoot her in the leg or the foot or the big toe or the pinky toe, and, you know, everything would have been A-okay. Ideally. But in the real world, in the practical world, when you have seconds to react, and you see a big girl, this ain't a little girl, a big girl, running after another girl with a knife, a decent sized knife, you don't have time to freaking aim for the big toe. You don't got time for that. You don't have time to be like, well, hey, in an ideal situation, she's actually not gonna stab this girl. She's just gonna, you know, try to scare her. You know, you don't have the time to sit there and wait to find out.
One that's legally justified. Sadly, it doesn't mean it's right, because police have shown us over and over that when it comes to black people, the only way they deal with us is...
Okay, so here we go again with this tired narrative. I'm not saying that it's not true to a degree. I'm saying it's tired because it's not applicable to every situation. Okay, now he's talking about, you know, lawfully the cop could shoot her, but he doesn't agree. He doesn't think that is right. And then he parlays that into, oh, white cops just love shooting black people. Look. You can't just try to put this under, oh, white cops kill black people, you know, and nothing happens kind of a thing. Dude, she had a knife and could have killed that woman that she was chasing. She could have killed her. So I don't know how you mean it's not right to save a life, because that's essentially what he did. Now, he took a life in the process, but that's pretty much how it goes. You know, you try to take a life, you know, your life could get took.
fatal force. It's just way too many examples of police officers, being threatened, themselves being threatened, with knives from white folks and not responding in that way. I've heard social workers say they've broken up knife fights. I refuse to believe that was the only way to...
Yeah, and again, see, this is the problem that we have to stop going towards. Oh, social workers, and it's been done. Look, life isn't cookie cutter. Everything ain't the fucking exact same. So are there situations where I'm sure people, could do that? Yeah. But for instance, I'll use this as an example. I get the paper delivered to my house, right? The other day, I'm not even sure if it was a front page, but in the paper, in the city, like near me, there was 2 cops, and they had a standoff with some guy who barricaded himself in his mother's house, like in a room in the mother's house. And so they were trying to, get him out, whatever. So they go in there, and then the dude stabbed both of the cops. One of the cops he stabbed in the face. Now the cops weren't, fatally wounded or anything like that, but both of them did get stabbed. Then they left the room. They called in like a special service person or whatever to help negotiate. Then after a couple of hours, they were able to, detain him. So then people use that same story and say, oh, see, he's alive and stuff like that, yada, yada. Yeah, so you have to understand, these are different scenarios. Could the cops have freaking shot him up in that room? I'm sure they could have. But you gotta understand, in that room, he wasn't threatening any other person's life. The only life he was a threat to was his life and the cop's life. But the cops have to make that ultimate call saying, well, whether, he's really going to try to kill me or whatever the case may be, because at the end of the day, he could have stabbed one of the cops in the jugular and they could have died. And that would have been, again, just like Kamaya needs to be held accountable and Deontay Wright needs to be held accountable, that cop would have to be held accountable for his for his actions, or lack of actions, But I'm telling you right now, me as a cop, I'm always going to err on the side of I'm going home. I'm going home. Now, you can go home too if you want, but I know I'm going home. So I have no issue with any police officer that has that same mindset. We all deserve to go home at the end of the day. So, but again, like so that situation that happened in the paper that I read, everything happened okay besides the cops getting stabbed, but no one died. But again, like that's on that cop. Say they're like, we're not going to shoot them, whatever. And saying, they get stabbed, then that's it. They lost their life because of that decision that they made. The line between living and dying in these situations is very thin. It's very thin. So we can't just, cookie cutter it and try to make it seem like, oh, well, they just keep doing this and stuff like that. And then try to use different, anecdotes to try to justify it. No, that's not real. That's that idealistic way of thinking. Like ideally this would have happened. No. Realistically, practically. If I see somebody run, if I have a gun in my hand, I see somebody chasing somebody else with a knife, what's the quote unquote right thing to do?
Handle that situation is by shooting her 4 times.
Yeah, I don't agree with you on this one. I mean, the cop got a call that said that, these women were jumping somebody. They hop out the car and see a woman, going at another woman with a knife. Yeah, maybe if they would have shot her in the foot, who's to say, or shot her in the leg, who's to say that she still couldn't stab the young girl?
So you don't think 4 times was excessive?
No, I don't think 4 times is excessive. No, I don't think 4 times is excessive. For anyone that's ever shot in a gun, you know what it feels like, 1. And 2, that you're aiming at your target. And you also know that most people, one gunshot isn't going to take them down. Especially depending on the size. So this person, if you saw the video, she's big. She's big. You got to shoot them. You got to shoot them till they're down. You got to, because it's like a bear. If a bear's attacking you, you're not worried about excessive, right? No, you're not. You're trying to down that bear. Because if you don't, it could continue doing what it was doing. But now it's just madder or more angry. So again, you shoot the person in the back, probably not gonna bring him down. Now I was like, oh, I'm getting shot. Now I'm definitely stabbing this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm definitely gonna kill this bitch. So no, you have to shoot till they're down. When Jacob Blake got shot like 7 times in the back, people said the same thing. Oh, but it was, and this is the thing with quote unquote black people, always trying to move the goal. Oh, well, she shouldn't have been shot. Oh, well, she shouldn't have been shot 4 times. Oh, well, like, yo, like, nigga, like, shut the fuck up, bruh. Like, yo, you understand that we live in, this is the fucking real world. And your actions have real world fucking consequences. And stop trying to make excuses and get people off. You understand? When Jacob Blake got shot like 7 times, I said it on the podcast. I don't think I made a video on YouTube about it, but on my podcast, Moss Media with my co-host Big Mike, I made the comments. I commented on it. I said I would have emptied the clip on that nigga, because as Jacob Blake was getting shot, he was still pulling away from the officer and trying to go to the car. Nigga, I don't know what the fuck you got in this car. And again, look, most of y'all don't understand like guns and how they work. But if he had a fucking gun in that car, not a pistol, say he had like a fucking Uzi, they're small, and niggas got them shits. Don't act like they don't, because niggas got them shits. Okay? Say he had a Uzi, a Mac 10, whatever, nigga, he could spray that whole clip in less than 3 seconds. The whole clip, 3 seconds. And that's bullets on bullets on bullets. So nah, man, nah. You getting shot and you still going and reaching for something? Sorry, you have to keep, look, you're gonna get shot till you stop. It's real simple, man. Real simple. I'm not gonna shoot you once and then wait to see what happens. Because now look, nigga, I shot you. Now you mad. Now you mad. Now in your mind, you got every right to fucking like go all out. No, we're not doing that. I'm not giving you that opportunity.
No, I honestly don't. And the reason I don't think that is because everybody sees one side. But now think about the other side. Think about that was your daughter about to get stabbed. You want them to dead.
We keep saying that.
Exactly. And this is what I said. This is what I said in the video. Lose control, lose your life. No one's talking about it from that perspective. And that's the perspective that we need to look at it from a realistic perspective. This girl took a knife to try to kill another girl. Now, regardless of the reason why they were there, if that's your daughter, you know, your daughter, your girlfriend, your sister, your aunt, whatever, about to get stabbed, you want that police officer to do what he did. You want that police officer to make sure that doesn't happen. That's his job. Say, for instance, you called the cops because this girl had a knife attacking your sister, and the cops pull up. That's what you want them to do. Right? So how come when this happens, no one wants to talk about it from that perspective? Because at the end of the day, that girl that she was trying to stab is somebody's daughter at the very least. I can guarantee you that. That's somebody's daughter. I can't say if she's somebody's brother or sister or whatever, no, or auntie. I can't say none of that, but I know for a fact that's someone's fucking daughter. And also what I haven't seen, and we're probably never going to see, but no one ever asks these questions. Where's the interview with the girl whose life the cop saved? This situation is getting spun the opposite way it should be spun. But no one seems to want to talk about that. Everyone, especially these fucking wokey wokes like this nigga Charlemagne, supposed to be all woke and all this shit, nigga. But you don't even understand. You can't even see that this shit is being spun the wrong way. The right way this is supposed to be spun, well, not the right way. The only way this is supposed to be spun is based off the truth. The truth is the girl that got killed made poor decisions. And with her poor decisions, the cop had to make a decision to save another girl's life. So the cop is the hero. The cop is the hero. Period.
Stop the person from doing it.
We keep saying that, but
that's the truth.
No, I'm a father. That's my daughter. I'm not a father. I'm not a police officer who's there to protect and serve.
They are there
everyone.
To protect and serve.
So,
everyone. They are there.
We keep saying that. It's different when I'm a father.
That makes no sense, Sean. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, you a father, nigga. So imagine the girl in the pink was your daughter. If the cop shoots the girl one time and then she still stabs and kills your fucking daughter, how are you gonna feel towards that cop? What are you gonna say towards that cop? You're not gonna have no questions like, why'd you only shoot once? Like what kind of stupid this? Yeah. Oh my god.
The daughter, and I still don't know if I would shoot a girl 4 times. Yeah, no, that's excessive.
You can use deadly force when somebody else is in harm, and in that situation, that girl was in harm.
Police officers use deadly force with us all the time.
That doesn't mean it. That doesn't make it.
See, exactly. See now, again, he's we're talking about this case right here. This nigga's talking about, oh, they use deadly force with us all the time. Listen, that may be true, but as it pertains to this case, it was justified. And then by that statement, let's move on to all the other ones that you say all the time we use deadly force. I have to ask questions. And what percentage of those times is it warranted? Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for cops. There are crooked cops out there. There are racist cops out there. We all get that. But am I going to sit here and say that what happened to this girl was based off racism? No, I'm not. You know, could he be racist? He damn well could. Could he have been happy as hell to kill her on the low? He damn well could. But at the end of the day, it's still justified by law. She picked up the fucking knife. He ain't tell her to. You know, he could have been the most racist motherfucker in the world and was like, I wish the bitch would pick up a knife so I could, oh my God, oh, she picked up that knife. Oh yeah, sayonara, bitch. You know, who the hell knows? That could have been his whole mindset the whole way through. But no one told her to pick up that fucking knife. No one told her to. And again, if she's the one that called the cops, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
Right. Even when nobody is in danger. That's how they approach us all the time. Fatal force cannot be the only option when it comes to dealing with black people. There's a million videos you can see of black people complying, black people laying on the ground in handcuffs, black people like in a situation like Michaela Bryant, the Latino boy from last week in Chicago. It's fatal force every single time. There's got to be another way to deal with us.
You can say that a million and one times, but every case is different. And in this case, if I pull up to a scene and see a girl chasing another girl about to stab a girl, my job as a police officer is to make sure that girl does not get killed.
Absolutely.
And the law allows me to stop that killing or that stabbing by any means necessary. That's what that law allows me to do.
Once again,
and on both sides.
Super woke liberal Negro, this nigga. Once again. I'm just gonna keep saying the same old shit because you know that's what woke niggas do. I'm saying once again, she didn't deserve to be shot 4 times. Well, how about we start with this? Did she deserve to be shot? You know, because we have obviously we're having 2 different conversations, man. This nigga's over here like he's moving to go, bro. Does she deserve to be shot? The answer is yes. Now, if you understand how society works, you understand that you're gonna be shot until you're no longer a threat. It doesn't work like, oh, 1 shot to the back, warning shot. Now, if you don't stop, you know, I'm going to keep on going. No, that's not how it works, man. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're firing a gun, that shit is fast. It's real fast. You know, as you saw the video, he fired 4 shots in less than 5 seconds. It's fast.
My daughter was about to get stabbed, I would want that person taken down, shot, or anything by any means necessary. And that's what a cop's job's to do, to protect.
Exactly. See, this is realistic. And this nigga Charlemagne is thinking idealistic.
Protect and to serve. And
they don't do that.
That cop protected.
And the problem with thinking the way Charlemagne does is it never allows us to take accountability for our actions and grow from it. You have to be able to look in the mirror and make changes in your life. And as a whole unit, black people, quote unquote, we need to be able to look in the mirror and make changes to our life. But we'll never be able to look in the mirror and, you know, see an accurate image if we keep lying to ourselves like this nigga Charlemagne's doing. Well, idealistic, in an ideal world, that wouldn't have to happen. You can't keep living like that, bro. You can't keep living like that.
That young girl. Now we could talk about every case and talk about, well, what about this case? What about that case? But you can't, you got to talk case by case.
Well, let me ask you a question.
All those other cases might have been wrong, but in this case, that cop made a split decision to say, you know what, I'm saving this girl's life.
Do you really think that cop cared about that girl in the pink?
Listen, it don't matter if he cared about the girl in the pink or not. See, and again, this is what niggas like to do. Nigga, we talking about the cop shooting her was justified. We're talking about the cop saved her life. It doesn't matter if he cared about the girl in the pink. I doubt he doesn't even know the girl in the pink. How does the fuck can he care about the girl in the pink? Huh? But these be the same niggas that be like, oh, well, Black Lives Matter, and Black lives don't matter to the cops. That's why we gotta say Black Lives Matter. Well, nigga, if Black Life didn't matter, then he wouldn't have shot nobody. He would have let the fucking bitch. He would have let the bitch stab her, and then he would have killed her. He would have got 2 for the price of 1. But this is what the y'all niggas, not everybody, but a lot of these motherfuckers be. This is their mindset, man. Like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
If you cared about that girl in the pink, why would you shoot 4 times? She was right there. She could have got hit too.
Listen, she could have got hit too. No, not where he was shooting. And again, look, I could make the case that makes what he did even that more spectacular. Because the nigga shot the bitch 4 times and didn't injure the other girl at all. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's like some movie shit. Again, he's the hero. Regardless of whether he cares about that girl in the pink or not, he's the hero.
You really think he cared about that girl in the pink that much? If he cared so much, why didn't he look sad after it was over?
Why didn't he look sad after it was over? Well, first and foremost, when you shoot a gun, and I never killed anybody, but when you shoot a gun, it's fast. 1 and 2, that whole situation happened in a matter of seconds. So there's like a level of shock that's going on, and I think we understand that. I think we all understand, or could understand that. So, and again, we're going off, initial facial reactions to incidents now to condemn people. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Charlemagne? What are you talking about?
Why did he say Blue Lives Matter after it was over? If he was such a good cop.
Why did he say Blue Lives Matter after it was over? I don't know. You got to ask him. Or maybe because he knew the onslaught that was going to come his way. Or maybe because he was a racist. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? What we do know is he saved the girl's life.
Like you said, he was just there to save lives. Why was there no remorse?
We can move the goalpost on every time.
I'm just asking.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's exactly what you're doing.
We are. But now it's like, did he shoot right or shoot wrong? Okay, well, if he shot right, then how come he looked sad after? Well, how come after he didn't tie his shoes? Like, we can move the goalpost in every situation, but in that situation, that cop possibly saved that girl's life.
He did save her life. But once again, just because something is legally justified doesn't mean it's right. And I'm not saying...
And that, what, nigga? Look. Just because something is legally justified doesn't mean it's right. Okay. I can get that. I can't think of any examples at the moment, but what I will say is this. How the fuck does that pertain to what we're talking about right now, nigga? How does that pertain to this? It was legally justified what he did, and it was right because he saved a life, and you just said it. They're making me do the Denzel Training Day laugh. My nigga. Yo, like, you serious, Charlemagne?
Come on, said he saved the girl's life.
What are you talking about?
You just said he saved the potty.
What are you talking about? Yo, this shit, right? You can't make this shit up. But yo, I'm going to end this video because it's pretty much over now. But look, this is the importance of not living in an ideal, quote unquote, imaginary world and living in the fucking real world. We have to understand that. But anyway, peace.